and you can get lots of candy and popcorn, and they have to pay for it. So that's a great way to not only incorporate something fun, but they're teaching them math. Okay, so how much money do I need to have back? And then one of my favorite one that to do, I did it last week also, was to have a virtual dance party. You make someone in the family the DJ, and you ask all your friends what are their favorite songs, and you play the song, and everyone has opportunity to dance. And just you see everybody on the screen. So it's a lot of creativity that's coming out of this. So I just wanted to give you some fun ideas of something you can do. And just if you have some great ideas, please put them in the chat so we can share with one another. So I can't wait to see what you guys are doing out there. I just share with you what I'm doing. But I think that was a great question that a parent asked. What can I do so my kids can have fun and you can have fun along with them? So that's one thing too.
I want to interject real quick. We had a little bit of technical difficulty, and so can you go over the toilet paper and the paper towel?
Sure.
Because that's really cool, and our families really, really want to see that.
Okay, so families, if you missed it, no problem. You see this? And do you see this and this? That's a toilet paper roll and the towel roll. We all have a lot of these hanging around our house. I'm waiting for my recycling to come in. But meanwhile, you have an opportunity to use these items to make like a STEM activity. What you can do with fun with your family and friends, everybody go online to whatever online platform that you have and build, say maybe 30 minutes, take the time to build something fun. You can make a bridge, you can make robots, you can make a whole bunch of activities and come up with ideas. In 30 minutes, everyone shows what did they make. You can paint on it, you can draw on it. It'll be a lot of fun just to say, I made something out of toilet paper rolls. We actually did something with these great things that we've been buying a lot, right? And the other one, if you missed out on that, I talked about right here, these are the lids to my water bottles. If you know how to play checkers, or it's a great time to teach your children how to play checkers, you can have them to paint on them, put stickers on them, and you can play games and activities out of this. So it's a lot of fun to do some things with recyclable. You don't have to buy anything extra. Go around and see whether you may have boxes, especially if you're ordering a lot of things from online. You can create great activities and share with one another. So it's a good thing that you can do with your family and friends virtually. And Tasha, did they have opportunity to hear about the movie night?
Which movie night?
Well, when we talked about earlier, I don't know if we had technical difficulties about inviting our family friends to watch the same movie. And your movie is like you say, a movie of your choice, and they have the concession stand. And the concession stand, they can have the change of money. And you say, okay, listen, my popcorn costs $1. And they have only like 75 cents, and they may need to borrow some money from the brother or sister and you're trying to practice some math strategies. So I want to make sure that we had an opportunity to talk about that if those of you all missed that during some of our technical difficulties. But they can make tickets for the show, and everybody can watch the same movie at the same time. You can see what kind of reactions. And another extension, you can write about what was like, you can critique that movie, what was great about it, or what you did not like about that movie. But a lot of fun things you can do with your children at home. Those are some great ideas. And I thank you again for families who asked that. What can I do have fun with my kids at home? Another question that we had, I'm going to read off for you. It says, how do I know that my child has learned everything that they need to know for their grade level for this school year? That's an excellent question. Well, I'm not sure if you all are aware, on the Florida Department of Education website, along with CPALM's website, and Tasha's going to place that in our chat, you can find the standards for the Florida schools. What standards are guidelines that make sure that every grade level knows what they're supposed to teach. For math, all the strategies, everything that they're supposed to learn for reading, science, social studies, for every subject area. The Florida Department of Education has standards that we're supposed to follow. And you say, listen, I'm not certain if my child has the concept of that. Well, you can click on CPALMs. Not only you'll be able to find that standard, but they give you examples of how to teach that, like a little mini lesson. So families, if you want to get a sneak peek and get your kids ready for the next year, check out CPALMs and see what the standards are for the following year. right now we're in the process of adopting the Florida Best Standards, which is like the benchmarks of excellence for our students and how they're thinking. So you can take a look, a sneak peek at the Florida Department of Education Standards Review to see what our kids are going to be expected to learn for the next year. So that's awesome. Now, I've been giving you so much information, and I want to share with the last question that I have from the parents was about social and emotional. So how can I help my child cope with the changes in learning, hearing news broadcasts, and anxiety? Now, that's a real deep question. So with a deep question like that, I'm going to start it off with, let's just breathe. Everybody, inhale and exhale. Yes, and do one more time. Inhale and exhale. Yes, there's a lot going on. And what I can say from you, based on the research I've been reading and looking up information on how to help you all with your children, study shows that we just need to be honest with our children. If they're asking us a question, we need to share with them, and especially on their level, say, yes, you are hearing things in the news, and explain to them so that you can help get those fears and anxieties out. And, and just tell them, like, look, we all are in this together, have your family and friends come together online and just to talk about, what are you concerned about? Maybe they're missing their friends, and it's okay to have that discussion about they're missing their friends. Maybe they want to maybe write a journal. Maybe that's something they can do, or type a journal. Sometimes our kids have difficulties with, writing, maybe type it or speak it. So that's something they can do too, speak into a mic and being able to share with their thoughts. And another thing, here's one of my other visual supports. Can you see this?
Yes.
This is a plug. Sometimes you have to unplug, right? Forget about all that news, right? And just take a pause. It is so important to know, yes, keep up with what's going on, but if you pause for a moment, just give yourself a break and just say, you know what? No technology for a moment. I don't want to hear what's going on for a minute. Let's just take time just to breathe and relax. There's an author, Elizabeth Kipp, K-I-P-P is her last name, that talks about just breathing. And all of us can relate to different shapes like triangles and circles and squares and just different types of shapes. So she talks about using a triangle. And if you just do a shape of a triangle, you can breathe in 3 seconds, breathe out 3 seconds. Breathe in 3 seconds, breathe out. And you do that just to kind of help the kids to kind of just relax and help you relax too. And say, hey, you don't have to do it in the air. You can do it on your hand. You can do it on your paper. So that's just another way just to kind of just to breathe and relax. And you know what? We all are going to get through this. We've been through a lot of tough times, and we want to ensure our children that we're there for them. And we are here to support you families also. Well, that's all the last question I have for social emotional. I'm going to pass it off back to Tasha.
I wanted to add too, Sesame Street has put out a lot of great things on social emotional. Abby Cadabby, Elmo, Big Bird. If you're a Sesame Street fan and you haven't unplugged, you can plug into one of those. I don't work for Sesame Street, but they do have a lot of really, really cool things out for social emotional. So now we're going to turn it over to Elizabeth and Shannon from Orange County Public Schools Assistive Technology Team, and they are going to give us some wonderful, wonderful resources that they have available for families in Orange County. Take it away, ladies.
Okay, thanks for joining us. So Shannon and I specialize a lot in our assistive technology for curriculum and learning for students. So we want to be able to share some tools that are available in Orange County for all students. They are available for all students. And then also a tool that's really similar that would be available for free for students that are outside of Orange County. So when we think of assistive technology, it's really tied closely to the accommodation. And we look at the tasks that students are struggling with, and then we look at some tools that would be there to remove a barrier. So one thing that we have to share, that I will share my screen, is I want to share with you a tool that is called Read Write for Google. So all students in Orange County have access to an OCPS Google Chrome account. When they're logged on, they will see a toolbar. Okay, so when we're logged on to our Google Chrome account, you see I have a lot up here, but you'll see that there's a purple puzzle piece right anywhere to the right of our search bar. So when you click this purple puzzle piece, a floating toolbar opens up. So this toolbar shows up on any website that you are on through Google Chrome. And this toolbar has a ton of tools here. I just want to show you one tool that if your child was assigned to read an article, any sort of text online, anything they had to read online for class, if they're going through their Google Chrome browser and they're logged in with their OCPS account, and if you're not an Orange County Public School student, you can get a free Gmail account to add on these different Google extensions that we're going to talk about. But I will come right here with my mouse and I'm going to highlight my text and I'm going to click play. Were you all able to hear that? So what it did was it will read any text that I'm on. So we have this is called text to speech. So this is through Read Write for Google, again for Orange County. Another thing that you can do if you're not in Orange County is download, it's called AT Bar, and it's a free download, which is a toolbar just like this that will give you that text to speech option. Along with the text to speech, you have a dictionary that'll tell us the meaning of the word, and to go along with our visual supports. We'll get a picture dictionary to tell us the meaning of or to tell us what the word would be as well. This toolbar has so many more tools that we can annotate, we can highlight the main idea and the details. When we highlight those, it'll take them straight onto another document we could turn into our teachers. There's a lot available here. So if you're interested in learning more about this tool for Orange County students, you would want to reach out to your school team and have them go into Canvas, and there is an assistive technology toolkit that is available for all teachers in Orange County to get a lot of tools and information, and that's where they can find out. There's training videos for teachers and lots of resources to share out. So that's just a general reading support. So Read Write for Google, and then AT Bar is similar. And then this is a Google Doc, which is also available on Orange County Students Launchpad, right through their Google Drive. It's just like a word processing document, just like Microsoft Word. So we have our toolbar again here. We would just double click the purple. And this time I've turned on word prediction. So I type this in advance. I see in, and then if I want to say enormous, and I don't know how to spell it, I just know and I can hover my mouse until I find it, and I'm going to click it in. And then I'm going to say, I see an enormous elephant, and I'm going to sound it out. Elephant. And I hover my mouse again. And I found it. So this is a game changer for students. It will really help with their spelling. And so it predicts not only what would come next in the sentence, but it also predicts, like you saw how I spelled elephant, LFNT. It'll predict that phonics of sounding it out. It'll be really helpful. While I'm here in Google Docs, you also have a tool built in. So I'm on my document and I'm going to click on Tools, and I'm going to come down to Voice Typing. And if they have a laptop, every laptop has a microphone already built in. You won't need an external microphone. You're going to click here, and I can say what I would like to write on the computer. And it typed in exactly what I said. And then we can go back in and use our word prediction tool. And again, we have our reading support where I would highlight and I can listen. So students can then listen back to their writing and edit anything if they wanted to turn that in. That tool, again, word prediction is the name of the tool that predicted and gave me a list. And that tool is available on Read Write for Google, as well as AT-Bar. And there's also an extension called Co-Writer that you get through the Google Chrome Web Store that is free right now for all students for distance learning. So there's several to try out. And again, there's just so many options here to play around with on our toolbar. We can screen mask and we can hover down and share different things. I'm going to turn it over to Shannon to share with you a couple other resources that are out there for you.
Hi, and I'm so excited just listening to Elizabeth. I know that her and I are only going to be able to share a couple of the probably millions of assistive technology tools that are out there, but I was just thinking of, you know, some parents and some kiddos that might be listening right now and learning about some of these tools for the first time and how it could just really open some doors for them. So I'm going to share with you some really great tools for digital solutions for reading with for students that might struggle a little bit with decoding or word recognition, comprehension, or fluency. We usually suggest some sort of a digital books with a text-to-speech tool built in. Sorry, I'm gonna go down here and share my screen with you guys. Let's see, here we go. We usually suggest one of two tools for this for online book services. One of them is Learning Ally, the other is Bookshare. Today, I'm just going to share with you Learning Ally, especially during this distance learning time. I'm finding that parents and students are preferring Learning Ally. It's just a little bit more user-friendly and gives families at home a little bit more choice about what they're reading and how they're reading. So this is my student account. Uh-oh. I need to log in, but I'm behind our pictures here. So let me move the button. Okay. I'm going to log on to this demo student account so you can see just what it would look like for your student to have an account. As soon as I'm finished with this, I'll show you how you can get access to both Learning Ally and or Bookshare. But when the student logs on, they're going to be taken here to their dashboard. And this is great because although this is my demo student account, there's no data in here right now. But this is a place where your student can track their reading and build on some good reading habits, set some goals, and work towards reaching those. The other tab at the top is browsing audiobooks. And this is what is just really great because the student or the parent can just go right to the search bar here and type in any keyword, the author, and find a book. There's also a place where you can just browse by grade level, subject, or category, or look at what Learning Ally is suggesting. So I'm just going to type in real quick, name of a book. So The Giver, and you'll see how quick that came up. I could click here to learn more about the book if I wanted to, or just click here to add it to my bookshelf, which brings us to the other tab up here, My Bookshelf. So this is the student bookshelf, and you'll see here are the different books that either the student or if they have an account that is attached to their school or teacher's account, the teacher can also add books, which is great because if the class is reading Shiloh, for instance, and your student, excuse me, needs a digital text-to-speech tool, then the teacher can assign that book through Learning Ally and they can read it. As soon as they're ready to read one of the books, we just click continue. And I'm telling you, it just walks you right through it. So depending, especially during distance learning, depending on the device that your student is using to access those books, this is going to tell them if they need to download an app or an extension to be able to read it, which I've already downloaded the Chrome extension. So I'm just going to click on it and you'll see here my books. I'm going to click on the BFG.
Not much fun, Sophie said. Just look at you, you poor little chiddler, cried the BFG.
I don't know that you
he was
guys
all
can hear it.
covered in snozzcumber and giant spit.
So that you could hear the
He said
audio,
about cleaning her
you
up
can
as
see that
best
it's
he could.
highlighting and it is
Oh, he's
reading out
hating
loud
those other...
and and oftentimes very neat character voices that match up with the story with accents and the expression that the characters would be using. So it's great.
We could hear it. We couldn't see it for some reason.
No?
Yeah, we could hear it, but we didn't see the way the book
horrible blood-bottling giant strode out of the cave. The BFG ran to the cave entrance and quickly rolled.
Let me see. Maybe it's because it opened up like when I use that app, it opens a different window. 1 second. Let me see if I can get a new share here. Here we go.
So it would typically open up where it looks just, there we go.
There, yeah. So
Sophie, crouching inside the chewed-off end, began to tremble all over. You is not switch fiddling me, is you?
And a couple neat additions that are on here that I like for the kiddos is there's some easy navigation, so they can quickly navigate to a specific chapter or a specific page that might be assigned. And then it also, the student can add notes or add vocabulary words with definitions. Let me see, like, if I just double click on a word, it'll give me the definition. And then if I click here, I can add some notes. It gives me the word definition and my notes. And if I click
Give me a little
save,
snitchit for my supper.
sorry, I have to keep moving
The
these
blood
cute little
bottler
faces of my
stared
friends here to
suspiciously
get
with
to my
small
button.
piggy eyes at the
But you'll see here under vocabulary, then there are all my words and my definitions that the student can share, or edit, or go back to study for, you know, a test or an assignment they might have coming up.
Now, Shannon, I have a quick question.
Sure.
Because I know that Learning Ally is available on the app, so I can download it on my phone, on the iPad, and because I can get to it online, I can use like my PS4 or my PS3 to get to Learning Ally, right?
I believe so. Yeah, anything online. There are some certain, like like you said, there's an app for an iOS, an iPad, or smartphone device, and a different app that you would need to download for like an Android device. But that's what this part does here. So when you click on here, when you're ready to read from the website, it'll walk you through what device you're using and then what you might need to download. So again, really user friendly there. Bookshare is the other tool that I talked about. They're both very similar. And even though I gave a sneak peek, if you don't know whether or not your student or the school has a Learning Ally or Bookshare account, you just reach out to your teacher, your student's teacher, or ESE teacher, or the school, and just ask them. And if they're not sure, you can just tell them about Learning Ally and Bookshare, depending on what district, even what state they're in. But it's great because like here in Florida, all schools have the ability to get a Learning Ally account for free, and any student that qualifies can get an account. So I think that's it from me, Learning Ally and Bookshare. Any questions or?
I have a question. Well, I do know the two programs. So the main difference between Learning Ally and Bookshare is one is human voices, and the other one is
more of a robotic text-to-speech type voice. Yes, that is one difference. And also, Learning Ally didn't used to have the highlighted sections as the student read, and we really feel strongly about the highlighted part because that really, the research shows that helps students just grow their literary skills because they're making the connections to the words and the sentences as they're hearing them. But both of the tools have that now.
Well, thank you so much.
Sure.
Looking here, I don't see any comments. So I think that.
I was going to pipe in. No, just in just a minute. I was going to add a couple things onto the chat box. A couple more tools just to go off of what Anjanette said about the social emotional. There are many social emotional resources now that are even talking about distance learning and COVID-19 that are symbol supported with pictures and that. So I can put a couple links on that are great for that. And then I also am a mom and I have a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old running around, and Crayola has been doing amazing activities. They've been emailing them to me where you get the art, and it's all just stuff you have around the house to go right along with your paper towels. I'll put those two links in the chat box.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Thank you, ladies. We had a great time this evening talking about the most frequently asked questions, how to incorporate that assistive technology. I want to thank you for your time and thank our Facebook friends and families out there who are watching now and who will watch later on and get the awesome, awesome knowledge that we got this evening. So thank you very much. I appreciate you and have a good evening.
Thank you.
Bye.